seems like machismo or domestic abuse or any other forms of male domination and toxicity seem to be quite prevalent within the Latino community. Especially, I'm noticing more so Puerto Ricans. Puerto Rican men. Why am I singling you guys out? Because I live in New York City, and I see lots of you guys, and I also see some of the way that you treat women sometimes. When I'm just interacting on with you guys on social media, or seeing you guys on live stream, how you're talking to female viewers, or even when I'm outside, how you are speaking. Some of these guys are speaking to their wives or females. It's just atrocious. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. I seen it today. This older Puerto Rican man, with his girlfriend or wife. She was chubby, you know. I'm saying this just as a descriptive term. I'm chubby too. But she was chubby, and they were both riding bicycles or trying to ride bicycles. And, you know, it's good for her that she's like, pushing herself and like, going out and getting out there. And I can really relate to that. And I saw how she was being pretty much belittled and assaulted by her husband. And she kept on getting yelled at. And it bothered me. It bothered me on many levels just because I could empathize with the situation of what she was going through. Because she was putting herself out of her comfort zone. And she was going along with him, and they were riding bikes, and he kept on yelling at her, and she kept on, something about the bikes, they just kept on stopping, and he just kept on just screaming at her about something. And she was just trying to, like, take his bike, or he was saying, like, oh, that bike is too heavy for you, you're not going to be able to ride it, I guess because she's fat or something, like, or she's little bit overweight. And, like, how is that a good way to reinforce somebody to want to be active? How is that reinforcing that person to want to participate in outdoor activities? Because every time she goes to look at a bike again, she's just going to think about the fact that you belittled her. That's what she's going to remember. So it's not going to be a good experience for her. That's going to be positive to make her want to do it again. So I was watching that happen, and eventually her husband just walks off. Her husband just walks off and leaves her by herself with her bike, because there's two bikes, they're, at first I thought they were like city bikes or something, but it was their own bikes. The man, he goes off, the guy, her husband or whatnot, goes off, typical Puerto Rican fashion, loud radio, mounted on the bike, blasting salsa music, and he just goes and he rides off with, the little Puerto Rican flag flying from the back. And she's there, probably feeling really alone. Her husband just left her. He just rode off down the trail, and she's just there. And maybe he was going to come back for her, but she just, I don't know, she just didn't seem like she was alright. And something just told me to go over there and speak to her. She was sitting by herself, underneath a tree or whatnot. And, she was just playing with her phone, but, you could tell she had some other things on her mind. And I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable, so I went and I walked out and walked towards her, and I went and I sat down. And it took me a minute to, like, to see if it was okay, if the situation was accessible or not, for me to really approach her. Because the last thing I wanted to do was to get her hurt. If this was a domestic abuse situation, I didn't want her life to be in danger if I said something or encouraged her to do something that might be harmful to her. So, and I didn't want to make her feel uncomfortable. But I did ask her whether or not she was okay. And, she said, she looked really embarrassed for a second. She's like, I'm not crying. She's like, I'm not crying. But, I heard a sniffle from her, when I was just, like, observing her. She was like, I'm not crying, but I told you, are you okay? She's like, I wanted to say it as everything's going to be okay. She says, I told her, I saw that man that was yelling at you. And she was like, yeah, that guy, he's an asshole. That guy's an asshole. I guess that was her husband. She's like, I already know how he is, and this is just how he is. But in my mind, I'm like, that's not normal. That's not good for somebody to talk to you like that. So she's like, oh, it's very nice for you to ask, to say that to me, to ask, and I didn't know what to say next because I didn't want to like get in her business. I was gonna comment something else about how nice it was, a beautiful day out, so I wanted to comment that, try to lighten the situation some. But I guess I said what I had to say, so I just told her I wished her a good day, and I pretty much just left and hoped that she had a good day. But at the very least, I hoped that in that particular second, I hope she felt less alone, because it felt like she was alone at that moment. Anyway, that was my story for today. Goodbye.